I'm restoring my first car, Frankie, a 1966 Ford Convertible, which I bought back 26 years after selling it. I'm Judy, and this is my Fairlane story. Once Frankie's bodywork was done, the next step was reassembly, which means the countless number of parts that were taken off now had to be prepped and put back on my car. So what's been done so far? Even though all the bodywork is done, there is still some painting to do. Parts of the car that were covered by support rods or the rotisserie had to be painted. The dashboard and door panels were painted in place with the interior color blue as Ford would have done. Miscellaneous parts were sandblasted and painted. The transmission and engine had been rebuilt but painted all one color. Before reinstalling, they were detailed to match the different finishes the car had when it came from the factory. They were bolted together and installed as one piece. The radiator was fully recored and rebuilt since Fairlane radiators are hard to find. You can even see the original Fomoco stamp on it. The engine needs to have the accessories put on like the water pump and crank pulleys, alternator, carburetor, fuel pump, and wiring. The exhaust manifolds are out being coated, but once they are back and put in place, a new exhaust system can be installed. The brake lines and fuel lines are now in place. New leaf springs had to be purchased since the original ones were worn and could have ended up cracking. The lower control arms were also painted to mimic the different factory finishes. The wiring harness was checked and repaired and is being installed. Door weather strips, windshield washer fluid bag, and hoses and clamps made for the correct time period were purchased and are being installed. Frankie's battery tray was in rough shape, but they were able to use my brackets on a Mustang tray. Fairlane heater boxes are also hard to find, so they will probably have to use the original one and have new seals made. The convertible top has been bolted on and lined up. A new windshield was installed and side window mechanisms are going in. The fabric for the roof is coming from the same manufacturer that made it for Ford in 1966. The chrome on the trim and locks was pitted. Dennis did his magic and buffed them up using 3 different compounds to make them look new again. I asked how they know how to put everything back together. Dennis explained they have years of experience reassembling Mustangs, and Fairlanes are not much different. They also have diagrams from the manufacturer. Everything was labeled when it was taken off or purchased as a replacement, even the nuts and bolts. There's a few items that are not available due to supply chain issues and labor shortages. The seat cover kits in blue are not being made at this time, and there's at least a 2-year backlog. Maybe I can use my old seats in the meantime, but they are in rough shape. Dave was able to get a replacement front bumper, but they are not producing the rear ones yet. The cost of re-chroming a bumper is much more than buying a reproduction, so maybe I will have to drive with my old bumper on for a while. But the most important thing is getting to drive Frankie this year, since it'll be 10 years since I bought my car back.